How you doing? The time is now just gone 2:20 p.m. Eastern time, and we continue to see Irene make its assault up the eastern seaboard of the United States. A couple of interesting things, folks. We continue to see the complete shutdown of the vast transportation network across the greater New York City area. So that's buses, trains, the subway, and the three main airports within that basically make up the New York City airport system. So that's LaGuardia, Newark, and JFK, all shutting down. Some 9,000 flights have now been cancelled in New York City alone. And that's not including, of course, Philadelphia and DC up to Boston as well. We'll probably see a shutdown of their airport system as well. The system, folks, itself, the central pressure has actually been reportedly dropped in pressure. Now, I did see one report down to 947 in millibars. Now, does that suggest strengthening? It's hard to say. The system could be literally holding its own, so to speak. Now, I've got this here. This is a satellite image taken around 2 p.m. this afternoon. And you can see here, folks, a few interesting features here. The core is over the Pamlico Sound of North Carolina. That sound separates mainland North Carolina from the Outer Banks, and the core itself is sitting basically right here. Now, interesting enough, we can see here the outer bands now spread all the way up into basically the Canadian border now, stretching all the way across to western New York State into eastern Ohio, covering West Virginia. So this is a vast system, folks, and it continues to grow. It continues to spread out. That 950 millibars in pressure isn't so much. You can't have a Category 1 hurricane and have such a low pressure. The reason for the low pressure is all that energy is getting spread all the way out across a vast distance. And like I say, it's continuing to spread out all that energy. That's why this system is so powerful, so dangerous. You can see here now more intense bands of rain now pushing across Virginia. I've seen also a report at New Bern in North Carolina, a report of 17 inches of rain. 17 inches of rain. That's remarkable rainfall, folks, creating vast amounts of flooding and a very serious situation. That amount of rainfall in such a short amount of time, although this is a long duration event, this is the problem. We're seeing a barrage of wind and rain, storm surge, waves of 20 to 30 feet. We're seeing also that duration, that constant pounding of the wind, rain, waves, and that is the problem. That is what's doing the damage to the trees, the saturated soils. We're seeing record rainfall in August. That's all taking its toll in this vast region, this vastly populated region of the country. I'm going to pull up a map here of Google Earth, and as you can see here, this is actually the track at the moment. Made landfall here down around Cape Lookout, North Carolina, and it's crossing over Pamlico Sound, holding some of its energy because it's not really properly over land. It's still tapping into that warm water. And interestingly enough, folks, the projected path keeps it just off the Delmarva Peninsula, up literally parallel with the Jersey Shore. A very, very dangerous track indeed, folks. And as you can see here, it comes mighty close to New York City. This is New York City, Long Island. Look at this here. This is the road network, the rail network, the airline. This is such a vastly populated area. You're talking 19 million people make up Long Island and the 5 boroughs of New York City. The problem is, folks, with this path, as it progresses up the coast, we've got several things that we need to worry about. The problem is that the system is going to arrive in locations such as here at the same time as high tide. This is the tide water, and water is feared to move up northwestward up into the Chesapeake Bay. The problem is, as the water, although maybe 2 to 4 feet pushing into the sound, into the opening where the Chesapeake Bay Bridge is right here, the problem is, as that water, like wind, is narrowed, squeezed into a tight space, it then builds up. It's got nowhere to go but up the way, and the problem is we might see, although a 2 to 4 feet storm surge coming here, as it powers its way up towards DC, the Metro DC area, it might be about 5 to 10 feet, and that could potentially flood many parts of Virginia, as well as portions of Maryland as well. So a very dangerous situation there. Also up to Delaware Bay, located here. You've got Cape May, and you've got sorry, that's a portion of Delaware. I know that much anyway. Same idea. As the water